Could a small device producing electricity 24/7 reduce your dependence on the grid when it already delivers 60% efficiency without sunlight or wind? More than 300,000 homes in Japan already use similar fuel cell systems to create electricity and hot water. The same technology powers companies like Google and Apple, yet most homes have never seen one. The average home today depends on a huge electricity network that can stretch hundreds of kilometers before power reaches the final socket. Every year, around 5% to 7% of electricity can be lost during transmission and distribution before reaching consumers. Solar panels have changed the way homes generate energy, but they still depend on one major factor: sunlight. A solar system that produces 5 kilowatts during the day produces almost nothing at night unless expensive batteries are added. Battery storage also has limits because a typical home can consume around 25 to 30 kilowatt-hours of electricity per day, while many home batteries provide only 10 to 15 kilowatt-hours of storage. This means one battery may not even power a house for a full day during a long outage. The search for a cleaner and more reliable energy source has pushed engineers toward a technology that does not store electricity but creates it continuously. A solid oxide fuel cell, also called an SOFC, works differently from traditional generators. Instead of burning fuel to create heat and spin a turbine, it uses a chemical reaction to directly produce electricity. The system uses a special ceramic layer that allows oxygen ions to move through it at extremely high temperatures. When fuel enters one side and oxygen enters the other side, electrons are released and converted into electrical energy. There are almost no moving parts inside the system, which makes it extremely quiet and reliable. A traditional power plant may lose energy through multiple steps like combustion, heat transfer, and mechanical movement. A fuel cell removes many of those steps, allowing some systems to achieve around 60% electrical efficiency. When the extra heat is captured for water heating or space heating, total efficiency can reach nearly 90%. One major advantage of fuel cells is that they are not controlled by weather conditions. A solar panel depends on sunlight and wind turbines depend on wind speed, but a fuel cell only requires a continuous supply of fuel and air. This allows it to operate during the night, during storms, and during long periods of bad weather. A home using a fuel cell could potentially generate electricity continuously for 8,760 hours every year, which is the total number of hours in a full year. The system works more like a small power plant placed close to where electricity is needed. This reduces energy losses caused by long-distance transmission. For communities that experience unreliable electricity or expensive grid power, this approach creates a completely different energy model where homes become smaller energy producers instead of only consumers. The journey of solid oxide fuel cells has an unexpected connection to space exploration. In the 1990s, engineer K.R. Sridhar worked on technology designed for future Mars missions. NASA needed a way to create oxygen on Mars because carrying enough oxygen from Earth would be extremely difficult. His team developed a system that could use carbon dioxide from the Martian atmosphere and convert it into oxygen. The technology successfully demonstrated the ability to process gases using ceramic materials. Later, the same scientific principles were adapted in the opposite direction to generate electricity on Earth. This idea eventually led to the creation of Bloom Energy, which focused on making fuel cells practical for commercial use. A technology designed for another planet eventually became a possible solution for powering buildings on this planet. While residential fuel cells are still uncommon, large organizations have already adopted the technology because they need reliable electricity. Companies such as Google, Apple, Walmart, and FedEx have used fuel cell systems to generate power closer to their facilities. In 2008, Google installed fuel cell units at its headquarters in California, creating hundreds of kilowatts of continuous electricity. Large data centers are especially interested because even a few minutes of downtime can create millions of dollars in losses. Fuel cells provide a stable electricity source without depending completely on the external grid. By 2025, Bloom Energy had deployed more than 1.8 gigawatts of fuel cell capacity worldwide. This amount of energy is enough to support large industrial operations and shows that the technology has already moved beyond the testing stage.
Japan has become one of the biggest examples of residential fuel cell adoption.
Through the ENA-Farm program, Japanese households have installed more than 300,000 residential fuel cell systems. These units are designed to work with existing gas connections and produce both electricity and hot water at the same time. A typical residential system can generate around 750 watts of electricity, covering a significant portion of a household's daily energy needs. The biggest advantage is efficiency, because the heat created during electricity production is not wasted. Instead, it can be used for showers, heating, and other household needs. The Japanese government has supported this technology because reducing energy waste is important for a country that imports a large amount of its fuel. The success of ENA-Farm proves that fuel cells are not just laboratory experiments, but working home energy systems. The biggest challenge for residential fuel cells is not performance. It is cost. Commercial fuel cell systems are already available, but smaller home versions are still expensive compared with traditional energy options. A residential system needs to become cheaper through mass production before it can compete with solar panels and batteries. Another challenge is that energy policies in many countries were designed around large power plants and grid connections. Solar receives strong support through incentives and tax benefits, helping millions of homes adopt rooftop systems. Fuel cells have not received the same level of attention. There are also questions about fuel supply, because systems running on natural gas still produce carbon emissions, while hydrogen-based systems require new infrastructure. The technology works, but making it affordable and widely available remains the biggest challenge. The future of home energy may not depend on one single technology. Solar panels are excellent during sunny hours, batteries are useful for short-term storage, and fuel cells provide continuous electricity generation. Combining these systems could create homes that are much less dependent on traditional power networks. A house with solar panels might generate electricity during the day, store extra energy in batteries, and use a fuel cell when additional power is needed. This combination creates a more stable energy system compared with relying on only one source. Fuel cells also have the advantage of using different fuels, including hydrogen and renewable gases, which could reduce emissions further in the future. The energy system of tomorrow may not look like a giant power plant sending electricity everywhere. It may look like millions of smaller systems working together. Solid oxide fuel cells are built on science that has existed for more than 100 years, but recent engineering improvements have made them practical for modern energy needs. The technology can produce electricity continuously, operate quietly, and achieve efficiency levels that compete with many traditional systems. More than 300,000 Japanese homes, major companies, and large industrial projects have already shown that fuel cells can work outside the laboratory. The remaining challenge is bringing the cost down and making the technology accessible for normal households. A future where homes generate their own electricity is no longer just an idea. The technology already exists. The question is whether fuel cells will become the next major step in the way the world produces and consumes energy. If this video was helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more content.